Hey Dave, how you
Hey,
doing today?
how you doing, Joe? Yeah, I'm all right.
I'm pretty good, man. So what's been going on with you since we last met, man?
Still doing the school thing. That's still got me pretty stressed out. I've been staying away from trying to get in any new relationships or any girl stuff. I figure that's just adding more stress, and I feel like I got about all I can handle on my plate right now. So just going to school, still going to meetings, and just trying to work through the stress with all that. It's got me still feeling pretty anxious. Not feeling super great about it. Um, I've been having a little bit of trouble with those feelings of anxiety and being overwhelmed with things.
Yeah. So from what I'm hearing from you is you're making some good decisions as far as the women department. I know that's something you talked to me about in the past. Is about kind of having some unhealthy patterns with dating some women, but so that's good, and you're just a little bit in some discomfort from the stress from school.
Yeah, man. Just a whole lot, and you know, I find myself just wanting to give up, wanting to just not do anything. Been spending a lot of time in bed. Staying up real late, sleeping in real late. I feel like it's kind of making things a little harder on me. I know when I wake up real late, it kind of makes me feel like crap, and I definitely could do better with that. I think I need to start keeping a schedule.
Yeah. Okay. So I noticed like when you were talking about being stressed, like you just seemed like you were in a little bit of discomfort. So like when you think about like that overwhelming feeling, like where do you feel that in your body?
My chest gets tight. I feel like you need to catch my breath.
Yeah.
I feel like my heart starts beating faster. I get a little like, I want to say like hyper almost. Like I get kind of like real spastic.
Hmm.
you know.
And what's like the thought? What's the thought pattern like when you start feeling that way?
I would say I pretty much I feel like almost in my mind and then physically I want to back up.
Hmm.
I push myself back in my seat. I'm kind of like wanting everything to stay here.
Yeah.
Away. Because I feel like stuff's just kind of like closing in on me.
Yeah. Okay. And what are some times like when you're feeling really good?
When I'm able to stay in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm able to stay in the moment. When I'm not obsessing about yesterday or tomorrow, stuff that hasn't even happened yet. All the things on my to-do list which seem to just go on forever. When I'm not doing that, when I'm not, and I'm just in the moment experiencing whatever's right in front of me, I'm able to be a lot calmer.
Yeah. Okay. I remember last time you were saying that like some stuff that you do for yourself is like getting to the gym, like shooting at the gun range. Are you still doing those like would you call those self care activities?
I would, and I do still participate in those. I feel like the thing that's different now is I'm less social. I feel like before I was, I feel like I'm almost in a worse headspace because, I'm not around people that often. My school's online.
Okay.
How I make my money with my rentals and parking and stuff. I don't have to be anywhere for that. So I don't have to be up at any certain time. I don't have to be anywhere. And so I've been staying at my house, and then because I've been less social, I haven't really been around anybody. So I'm pretty much just kind of by myself. And I feel like I'm getting real lax on taking care of a lot of different responsibilities. You know, I'm not doing laundry very much. Um, you know, I'm not cleaning up around the house as much. I'm not, you know, taking care of a lot of things have kind of fell by the wayside.
Okay. So it sounds like there's some really good things from having that type of schedule, but there's also some things like where you feel like you're letting some things slide. I know earlier you said you were staying in bed, sleeping in a lot, and going to bed really late, and that's not making you feel good, and the laundry thing's not making you feel good. So what things about would you like to talk about? What things about your schedule that you do like?
Well, while I feel like it might be causing some issues with structure, I like that I don't have to be anywhere at any given time. I like that I can kind of do everything I need to do from my home. You know, I like that I've still been able to, you know, complete my assignments with school, despite the stress it may cause, and you know, I'm still able to meet my obligations as far as, you know, my rentals and stuff like that, and you know, still making it to the gym, still making it to meetings and stuff like that. You know, basically, I view those things as like I have to do them, and anything that I don't have to do right now, I just haven't been doing. And like I said, I feel like it's adding to the stress by not doing them.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So do you happen to sometimes beat yourself up, you know, a little bit for not like achieving what you would believe to be like perfectionism?
Yeah, for sure. You know, like I have an idea in my head of what I should be doing. Because in my mind, I should never be just laying around. You know, because there's always stuff that needs to be taken care of. And, you know, here lately it's been, you know, I haven't been doing those things. You know, because I feel like in my head, if I am doing my school stuff, you know, doing, you know, my income stuff, cleaning, doing laundry, doing dishes, you know, going to meetings, going to the gym, taking care of all my, if I'm firing on all cylinders and I'm taking care of all my responsibilities, I shouldn't have any free time, because I have so much stuff going on that I should be busy, and I should be utilizing this time, you know, in the best way possible. I just feel like I haven't been doing that.
So there's a word that I keep hearing you say is I should. So like, I know that you have all these things that you would like to do. You know, so if you could ideally like set those things up for yourself, like what would be like one of the things that you would like to change first?
That's tough. Because the stuff I haven't been doing, I view as not a big deal. Big enough deal to be upset about not doing, but not big enough deal that I'm like pressed to do it. So I guess like probably stuff here at the house, you know, taking care of, you know, laundry stuff and cleaning up a little more, being a little more organized. I know tax season's here, and you know, my stuff with my rentals and all my tax information, a lot of my paperwork and stuff. I'm just so unorganized. It is unreal. Mm-hmm. And you know, I think I would like to start maybe like getting a file cabinet and keeping track of my bills and, you know, things like that.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a great idea. You know, to kind of keep things organized. That may make things easier to just pick up and do the things that you like to do. That so you don't have to feel those feelings of like, oh man, I should be doing this. You know, it seems like I see an individual that is, you know, going to school, that's taking care of a lot of responsibilities, that's made some really healthy decisions, and it seems like you have a lot of discontent within yourself from just you know, for laying around. So I mean, I think you're a great guy. And you know, I'm a busy person too, so I can relate to that feeling of like, man, I should be doing this, But that's something I always try to take a look at, is that should. That word can cause me to create some sort of like expectation, when really I can just focus on the action and get into a solution for myself. But yeah, man. So I hear that you're making healthier decisions when in your relationships with women. So would you like to talk more about that?
Yeah, I guess I've just, I think it's a combination of a couple different things. I think one, I've been so lazy, I really don't want to really do anything I don't absolutely have to do. And because I feel, honestly, I feel like just the day-to-day, like the stress from the day-to-day activities that have to get done have been, I've been spending so much time in my head stressing out about them. And then coupled with the actual doing of the task, I'm just wore out. Mm-hmm. I think most of it is just I'm just really wore out from constantly going over stuff in my head. I feel like that's the most strenuous activity I do is overthinking things. I feel like that wears me out before I even get started.
Do you think that, I'm hearing all this stuff and trying to relate, correct me if I'm wrong, but I really liked what you mentioned earlier about like the filing cabinet. So I feel like for you, like that's kind of like a really important metaphor. So like with the freedom of your life, do you feel like if you just kind of organize things around, do you think that would relieve some of the pressure that you put on yourself?
Yeah, I think that, I experience the most serenity and the most peace when stuff is taken care of, and I feel like if I'm better organized, that's going to help me stay on task, which in turn is going to translate into getting more things done, and that in turn is going to make me feel like, better about what's going on.
So, like, what does that feel like? Okay, so just like imagine that you have all your stuff, all your responsibilities taken care of. Your laundry's done, your house is organized, your tax information's in that filing cabinet that you want. Like, how does that, thinking about that, make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, that's, there's been, I can definitely, mentally take myself back to a time when, an instance where, everything is done, I've been busy all day, and I've accomplished everything in my mind that I wanted to accomplish that day. And then I lay down and I'm like, everything is done, and I just feel really untethered, I feel like just real light.
Yeah, that's a great feeling.
Yeah, so when I'm not doing that, I feel like I have just a ton of shit laying on me. So when I'm being lazy and I'm not accomplishing these things, I feel like there's just a bunch of, might as well be a bunch of weights just laying on me in the bed, just weighing me down. And that creates anxiety. And then I get so anxious about it, I don't do it, which is just a cycle, man. I get caught in that cycle.
Well, I mean, that can be a lot to deal with. You're in grad school. I mean, I'm sure the workload is pretty heavy for that. I'm sure you got a lot of readings to do. So, keeping that sort of stuff straight, like with your own property, so property management. I mean, that's not an easy task.
Yeah. I definitely feel like the workload in grad school could be a little less. But I feel like I'm handling it okay. I'm still getting stuff done. I'm just spending more time stressing out about it.
Yeah. Are you learning a lot?
Yeah. I feel like the opportunity for application, applying a lot of the things that I'm reading about and learning about is what's the most beneficial to me.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's all about, man. It's just learning, and have you thought about looking forward past grad school? I mean, have you thought of what type of lifestyle that you want to have, like with this degree? I know that's something we talked about a little bit in our last session.
I have done a little bit of planning as far as what I want my life to look like. and that helps motivate me sometimes. When I think about, so when I, because where I live at right now, I have my, my parking and my duplex is kind of like attached to that property, and in my head I'm like, when I graduate, I won't have to live over on this side of town anymore, and I can sell this property and buy some different property in Fairmont or Clarksburg. I got a lot of things, a lot of plans for what I want to do, and and like me thinking about all of the opportunity that I have and I'm going to have definitely motivates me to want to keep moving on.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever write down these ideas?
No, they're all up here.
Okay. Do you ever make to-do lists?
I used to be real big on that. When I was an undergrad, I used to have a notebook that I kept on my kitchen counter, and I would write down like, hey, you got to do this, hey, you got to do that, and when I'd wake up in the morning or the night before, sometimes I'd write a list with little boxes to check off. I've gotten kind of away from that. Right now I'm using a desk calendar, and when I get all the syllabi from all the different classes, I'll fill in the whole semester in the desk calendar, and I kind of just cross it off. But I haven't, see, the difference with that is before, on the list that I used to keep, it had everything on there. It had school stuff, it had house stuff, it had even the gym, like just any little thing that I wanted to do that day. And it felt kind of good to like cross those things off. Like, yeah, I did this, I did that, I did this. And with the school thing right now, I'm pretty much just, it's just that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which most times is not fun for me.
Yeah.
Which on the old list I used to make, it had fun stuff on there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that you have done to-do lists in the past, and you really enjoy, getting things done. I'm definitely getting that. Learn more about you, that you're a person that really likes to check things off that to-do list. I heard you say earlier too about this obsessive thoughts. So would you like to talk more about like obsessive thoughts? I mean, it seems like it's playing a part in in all of your all of your schoolwork and all of your housework, and how that relates to like the overall Dave's wellness.
Yeah, a lot of times I get a hold of a thought, something that, usually it's something that, well, I mean, it could have a good or, a pleasant or an unpleasant feeling attached to whatever thought it is, something that makes me feel something, and I'll just latch onto it, will not let it go.
Whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, it could be something. It could be a good thing that I want to happen now, that's going to happen, and I'm just thinking about it, or it could be, something that like an assignment for class, a paper that's due, a video that has to be done, and I'll just like obsess about that. I don't want to do it. Laundry, dishes, whatever, and I spend time obsessing about it and being upset about it rather than just doing it and getting it out of the way.
Right. Cool. I mean, that's something we can definitely, if you would like to, we can definitely, kind of breach more into that subject into future sessions, because I feel like, you're doing a lot of good stuff, but you're also having all these obsessive thoughts, in all these different areas of your life, and I think it would be helpful to, kind of explore those obsessive thoughts. So maybe that's something, if you would like, we can kind of get into on the next session.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, anything else you want to touch in on? I mean, we're about out of time for today.
I think we got it.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in.
Hey, thanks, Joe.
Yeah.